Assalamualaikum, Mr. Ali. Can we start our agenda today?
Hello, can
Okay,
you hear
Leo.
me?
We start now, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
So, yeah, before starting, also my colleague is about to join us, but I think he's a bit struggling to join the session. So let's continue and see. Oh yeah, he's here as well. Okay, okay, thank you so much. So let me share my.
Later,
Uh,
we have to uh, opening event first. Okay, yes.
uh,
Ladies and gentlemen, we will start the session shortly. For a more interactive experience, we encourage all online audiences to please have your cameras turned on. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very warm good afternoon to our distinguished guests and participants, both here on site and joining us online. Welcome to the public lecture of Master Program Mathematics Education, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Sriwijaya University. The respected Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Dr. Hartono MA, or the representative, the respected coordinator of the Bachelor Program in Mathematics Education, Weni Dwi Pratiwi, SPD MSc, the respected coordinator of the Master's Program in Mathematics Education, Dr. Hafiza, SPD MT, the respected coordinator of the Doctoral Program in Mathematics Education, Professor Dr. Ratu Ilma Indra Putri, MSc, the respected or highly esteemed speaker from Allameh Tabataba'i University, Iran, Mr. Ali Shirkarami, the respected Chief Executive of Public Lectures, Dr. Merian Sumayeka, SPD MSc, the respected all the professor, lecturers, and audiences who have joined us for today's public lecture. Praise to be Allah Almighty for His blessing and mercy that allow us to gather today at the public lecture of Master's Program Mathematics Education, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Sriwijaya University, under the theme Innovating Mathematics Education through Game-Based Learning, held on October 19, 2025. I'm Nazmia Khalisa, your Master of Ceremony will guide you throughout today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, to seek blessing for today's program, let us bow our heads in prayer, which held led by Mr. Muhammad Ridho Rahman, SPD. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, distinguished guest speakers and all participants. Before we begin, let us take a moment to pray for the success of this event. The prayer will be conducted in line with Islamic teachings. Auzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina wa nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsanin ila yaumiddin. Amma ba'du. Ya Allah, no words or feelings are worthy to present to you this afternoon except our gratitude for all the blessings and guidance you have bestowed upon us, allowing us to gather together, both online and offline, to participate in this international general lecture. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Karim, make this event of ours one that receives your pleasure, one that brings your blessings, mercy, guidance, and direction to us all. Ya Allah, the all-powerful and all-knowing entity, We recognize that knowledge is a trust, therefore cultivate within us the educators and future educators, the creativity and innovation to develop enjoyable and meaningful mathematics learning method, particularly through game-based learning, strengthen the spirit of collaboration and teamwork among all academic members of the program. Grant us health, strength, and capability so that we may fulfill our duties and responsibilities as agents of knowledge for the good and benefit of humanity. Ya Hafiz, Ya Majid, the All-Noble, unite our heart, align our steps, and foster a sense of sincere and genuine brotherhood among all participants, speakers, and comment members from diverse backgrounds and countries. Preserve our souls with purity of intention and adorn our character with exemplarity in seeking and disseminating knowledge. Ya Allah, Ya Hafiz, with the bonds of affection among us, so that we may navigate difference beautifully and make today's event our fiercest deed, a symbol of intellectual fellowship and a bridge for unity in building a better civilization of knowledge based on faith and pity. Ya Allah, Ya Ghaffar, the ever forgiving, you are all knowing of our weakness and shortcomings. Therefore, to you alone we worship, to you alone we seek forgiveness and help, and to you alone we dedicate our service. Ya Allah, accept our prayers and supplication. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim wa tub alaina innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman katsira. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May this prayer bring blessing and smoothness to our entire program today. Ladies and gentlemen, we now proceed to the national anthem. We kindly request all participants, both on-site and online, to please take a moment to rise and observe the singing Indonesia Raya. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we now proceed to the welcoming remarks. We are honored to invite the coordinator of the Master's Program in Mathematics Education, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Sriwijaya University, Dr. Hafiza SPDMT. Please welcome.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon and good morning to our distinguished speakers in Iran, Mr. Ali Shirkarami. Welcome to Sriwijaya University. Thank you for your coming today. Distinguished Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Sriwijaya University, Dr. Hartono M.A. The Honorable Vice Dean 1, 2, and 3, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, respected Head of and Secretary of Department of Mathematics and Science Education, Coordinator of the Undergraduate and Doctoral Program Mathematics Education, esteemed lecturer of Mathematics Education, and all students from the undergraduate, master, and doctoral program, who am I very proud of. Tama-tama, marilah kita panjatkan puji dan syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Pada siang hari ini kita bisa bertemu, berjumpa via online dan offline dalam kegiatan rutin akademik, yaitu kuliah umum. Kali ini diselenggarakan oleh program Magister, program studi Pendidikan Matematika. Bapak Ibu, saya mengucapkan terima kasih atas kehadiran Bapak Ibu semua pada kegiatan kita pada pagi siang hari ini. I would like to sincerely thank to our guest speakers, Mr. Ali Shirkarami, PhD, inshallah, and also his partner, Syed Ali Husseini, will join us also at this event. Thank you very much for your time, for your effort and generosity to share your knowledge and experience, especially about game-based learning in mathematics education. Bapak Ibu, saya mengenal Pak Shirkarami dari kegiatan tahun yang lalu. Next year event at summer course at University last year. I met him and I observed that he has expertise in game-based learning. So that's why I invite him to join us and to share his experience about the game-based learning. And also I read from his curriculum vitae, he has very expertise about that, and also he work on international project, especially at United Nations, ya, di kantor PBB, Bapak Ibu. Beliau juga sebagai tim project di sana, sehingga saya yakin bahwa beliau bisa sharing bagaimana betul pengembangan game dalam pembelajaran, khususnya pembelajaran matematika. Mr. Ali juga akan mengajak timnya, temannya, yaitu Mr. Syed Ali Husseini, tapi masih terkendala untuk join. Insya Allah nanti akan bergabung bersama kita. Mr. Ali and Mr. Syed from Allameh Tabataba'i University, Iran. Ya. From his experience and education, he have especially about education technologies and also about game-based learning in mathematics education. Itu nanti apa yang disampaikan oleh Mr. Ali, saya harap ini kesempatan yang sangat baik untuk mahasiswa, undergraduate, master, and doctoral program student untuk menggali, ya, mungkin nanti akan mendapatkan ide ataupun ide riset untuk berkaitan dengan proses pembelajaran matematika, khususnya game-based learning ini. Bapak dan Ibu, ladies and gentlemen, the public lecture is a part of our regular academic activities designed to enrich our learnings, especially in mathematics education. Today we conducted in hybrid format. and attended by undergraduate, master, and also doctoral program of mathematics education. Before we begin this session, I would like to kindly invite the Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education to open this public lecture officially. I think that's all. Thank you very much for your attention and listen. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Habiza SPD MT, for delivering the remarks. The next remark will be delivered by the Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Sriwijaya University, Dr. Hartono MA. Please welcome. Sorry, Dr. Hartono, you're still mute.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon and good morning in Tehran. The Honorable Ali Shirkarami, Associate Professor from Allameh Tabataba'i University, Iran. Yeah, it's difficult to pronounce the names. Yeah, your university. Sorry about that. All of the leader in Sriwijaya University, Vice Dean, maybe could be attend online, Head of Department, Secretary of Department, Coordinator of Program Studies, Bachelor, Master, and Doctoral Program. All of the lecture and all of the professor in mathematics education, and of course, all my beloved students, Bachelor, Master, and PhD students in Sriwijaya University. First of all, I would like thank you very much to Associate Professor Ali. Yeah, maybe I just is common name Ali. Common name Ali in Indonesia. Just I call you Ali. Because you have here, although you are attend online modes, you will share your expertise, your experience to my student, to my colleagues in Sriwijaya University. I'm so happy this afternoon because this chance to collaborate with your university. Right now is Sriwijaya University is autonomous university, and our milestone until 2027 is recognized in ASEAN country, and after that 2028 to 2032 we should be recognized in Asia. Yeah, so we have to expand collaboration, yeah, in Asia, especially in your country, Iran, Tehran. Hope so. We can collaborate, extends in future. Actually, mathematics education, bachelor, master, and doctoral program is leading in Sriwijaya University because they have the excellent accreditation, national accreditation, and also international accreditation from Germany. So this our culture to make the teaching and learning with the international lectures. It's like that, like this. So this very important moment, and we have a long time collaborate with the Europe, especially in Utrecht University. So it's better to expand the collaboration in Asia country. Uh, Especially in Sriwijaya University, mathematics education, we concern in realistic mathematics in Indonesia. So it's good to for the idiot about the game, because game is very important to make to stimulate our brain uh, to be analytics, to be creative and innovation. So I think game-based learning is very important, not only game as fun. Because in Indonesia we have spent money so much about the game for the fun for the children. We all of happy with the game. We for the relax for the fun we play the game. Yeah, but by design game can to be teaching and learning, and we can put something to our student learn smart about the topic. uh, I think it's very important topic, and we have the faculty computer in Sriwijaya University, so we can collaborate with the professor in the faculty of computer in uh, our university to develop the game. Now in Indonesia, we focus about the uh, we we call AI, yeah, uh, artificial intelligence, yeah, and also we focus about the uh, we call about transcript, script, computer coding. I mean the coding and robotic. Yeah, I think it's very important to relate it artificial intelligence, robotic. So with the game, yeah, this very important because Indonesian focus of those. Again, thank you very much, and we make attention with the our guests to will deliver the their expertise about the game in teaching and learning. Uh, Finally, I will open officially general lecture from Professor Ali from Thailand, from Tehran, and I hope we can make attention all uh, the time for his talk. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Hartono MA, to deliver the remarks and officially open this event. Once again, let's give a round of applause to Dr. Hartono MA and Dr. Hafiza SPD MT. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now entering the group photo session before proceeding to the public lecture. We kindly invite the dean, all professor and coordinators, bachelor, master, and doctoral programs to immediately proceed to the front of the main stage to take their position in the first row. Yeah. Yes, in the first row. Next, we call upon all lecturers and academic staff from the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education to join them and fill the second row. Okay, and now for our remarkable outstanding students. Yeah. Okay. We also kindly request to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Ali Shirkarami, to please strike a pose for our officially hybrid photo. And yeah, Sir Ali, Sir Zaid Ali Hussein. Okay. Okay, please. All right. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now a free pose. Freestyle. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. And next, Unsri Unggul maybe? Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right, amazing. Okay, thank you so much to our leaders, professor, lecturers, and all our wonderful students for being a part of this memorable picture. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving to the core segment of today's event. The session we have all been waiting for will now begin. It is great honor to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Ali Shirkarami. And Mr. Shirkarami joined us, an experienced researcher from the prestigious Allameh Tabataba'i University in Iran, and is an experienced mentor, game designer, and instructional designer. And okay, Mr. Ali is an advisor for the Iron Toy Supervision Council in Iran, and his current research focus on designer, project manager. All right, we are privileged to have him share his expertise with us today. And Mr. Shirkarami, good morning.
Good afternoon to you.
Okay. Okay, Mister, thank you once again for taking the time to join us today. We are very excited to hear your presentation. Before we officially begin, are you comfortable and ready to start?
Yeah, thank you so much. I am ready, but I would love to share some presentation, which is I think is stable from the past.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Mr. Ali Shirkarami. The screen is yours, and to our participants joining us online, please ensure your microphones are mute and prepare your question for the Q&A session. Okay, Mr. Ali, are you ready to start?
Yes, I am ready, but I would love to upload a file or share my screen if that's possible.
Oh, okay, wait. Can you try again, Mr. Shirkarami?
Yeah, let me. Oh, okay.
Okay,
Oh,
fantastic.
now. All right, can you see the presentation?
Okay, we can see it in this stage. Okay, sir, the screen is yours.
Thank you so much. So, first of all, I would love to say thank you to everyone, all the professors and the academic colleagues for inviting us to this STEAM event. It's really a pleasure and honor, and yeah, we would love to do more collaboration as we met last year at Utrecht University. We think there would be lots of potential and mutual actions that we could take place, especially in the field of game design or educational technology. So thank you so much for having us. Me and my colleague, Said Ali Hosseini, who is also a teacher himself and also one of our STEAM master students, who later on will talk about his experience in designing game for teaching mathematics to children. Okay, so today we are going to talk about designing educational games, and especially games that have impact on mathematics learning. So a quick introduction to myself. I'm a PhD candidate in educational technology at Allameh Tabataba'i University in Iran. And I also work as a teaching and research assistant, focusing on educational game design and game-based learning. And since 2015, I have taken on different roles as event coordinator or a member of educational committee on festivals and events related to games and toys in our country. Also, about a year now, I'm a project manager collaborating with a UNICEF Iran office, and we try to enhance children learning and development within child-friendly spaces in Iran, which is I'm so excited about, and we will talk about more on it later. So, in this session, I would also like to invite you to engage in the presentation, because we are going to do a bit of questions, and I would love to have your answers on that. So I have a question here, and I would love to all the students and participants to answer that. You could write it on the chat box and we could discuss it further. So who here enjoyed math at the school and who didn't, and why? And this might sound a bit a silly question, because as you are in the faculty of education for mathematics, definitely you are interested in mathematics, that you are there. But I would like to know more why you got interested in math. And you definitely have experience with people who do not who don't like math. So maybe you could write your answer in the chat box, and we could see what are the answers. Thank you. Does everyone have access to the chat box? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, I asked if some of the participants, especially those who are online, could answer these questions about whether they enjoyed math at the school, and even the people who didn't, and why is the reason. If you're enjoying math, what do you think is the reason behind it? Okay, we have one answer from Tiara. Say yes, I am enjoying. That's great. But can you also share with us the reason that you like math and enjoying doing math? I also encourage other students, those who are online or attended in person, to share their thoughts as well. Interesting. Okay, Mr. Rido, Rido, because it was fun and meaningful for a student. Oh, really? So you had a fun experience learning math? That's interesting. Also, yeah, I always do enjoy math at school because the teachers is so kind. Oh, you're so lucky to have a nice and kind teacher on mathematics. Amazing. So the reason I ask this question is that not everybody has a good experience learning math. There are lots of challenges when we are working on math. For instance, many students experience math anxiety, and lessons often feel abstract and disconnected from real life. Also, traditional teaching can lead to low engagement and confidence in the students. So, apart from those people who have a good experience learning math and doing math when they are uh, at the school, many students have difficulty learning math and experience uh, with the math for many reasons that I have listed a few of them here. So one of the main, in my opinion, one of the best way to solve that issue is to use games as like a media to make the learning process of math more engaging and fun. Because games have this quality of creating safe space for failure. For instance, in games, it doesn't matter if you fail one or twice or as many times as you want, and that mistakes become part of the learning. But on the other hand, when you are at the school, the mistakes could have some effect on your learning. You could lose marks, and it affects your learning process at the school. Another reason why we offer games to teach mathematics is that they encourage exploration and persistence because they replace fear with curiosity. Uh, yeah, games have this quality of inviting the players to explore different parts and don't be afraid because uh, overall it's just a game and it doesn't matter if you perform not that good and if you make mistakes. Another major reason that we choose games as intervention to teach mathematics is that they strengthen conceptual understanding through concrete and playful actions. So these are like main challenges and also main reasons why we offer games as a good intervention to teach mathematics. So why games are powerful learning interventions? Well, there are many reasons why games are a good intervention in the learning process, regardless of the subject. It could be math, it could be science, it could be English, it could be any subject, and you could use games to boost the learning process. The first reason could be the emotional engagement, which means that games trigger joy, curiosity, and motivation. They somehow implement the positive emotions and reduce anxiety and open the mind to learning. That's the as you also see in the picture, when students and children or anybody play the game, this helps them to be more positive and stimulate more positive emotions. So this helps them to reduce anxiety, whether it's a mass anxiety or any form of anxiety, and it helps their mind and brains to be open to learning and to get new information from what they are experiencing. Another reason about why games are powerful as a learning interventions is active learning. because learners do test and discover. They don't just listen like the classic style of teaching in our schools, because they get to do the things and test and fail and win and discover everything. With game, it helps them to be an active learner and an active participant uh, to the learning journey, which makes it valuable as a learning intervention. Another reason is that game promotes deep processing and better retention, meaning that when you are playing game, your mind is so focused on the game and on what you are doing in that game, whether you are trying to gain points, trying to win, or trying to get any sort of advantage in that game toward other players. So that helps the student and the player to have a deep processing and a deeper understanding of what they are doing. So when we have that quality and try to add some educational value with it, we help them to have a deeper understanding and deeper learning via the games. And that's why active learning is also another reason to use games as a powerful learning intervention. Another reason would be the immediate feedback that the games provide, because players see the result of their choices instantly, whether you are trying to score points or get more areas on the game map. Whatever you do, you receive the feedback almost immediately, and you see, okay, what the decisions that you made and the strategies that you implemented, whether they are good or bad, you receive the feedback instantly. And as educators, we all know that the immediate feedback and the feedback itself is so important in the learning process, because it helps the learner to understand faster what is a good choice or what is the wrong choice. Also, games support self-regulation and adaptive learning as well, because again, from that immediate feedback, students understand how to plan in the future or ahead of the game to make the best out of the gameplay. Another reason, as I mentioned already, is games are safe space for failure. Mistakes become part of the learning loop, not punishment. As you have all of you experienced different games, whether they are digital or analog, losing and making mistake is part of the game. There's no like serious punishment to that. So the players are more open to experience and test the different aspects of that game. So this is a really important feature in games that could help the learning process, because what we experience at the schools and on different classes, many students do not engage in the process of learning because they are afraid to fail, because there would be like punishment or they would lose grades or any other reasons. But games helps us to solve this issue, because in their essence, games doesn't have any problem in making mistakes. Another reason for games to be a good intervention is that they encourage resilience and experimentation, which is also another aspect, another important aspect in learning, because when students are allowed to experiment, they make their own learning structure, which is really important in the learning process, whether it's a math subject or a science subject, or as I said, any subject of you could imagine of. So experimentation is a really important part that games have within themselves, and this could help the students to have a deeper learning and understanding of the subject that they are learning. Another important reason that games are one of the best interventions in the learning process, and this is also more referable on board games and analog games, is the social connections. because games foster collaboration, communication, and shared problem solving. The reason is that we have witnessed ourselves that when students are playing a game, especially educational games, they intentionally try to help each other to solve the problems. Even if they are not on the same team, they help each other, they collaborate and communicate to solve the problem faster. So I have this really interesting experience with the students that we have at our university. So we have a class of designing educational games, and we teach our students how to design educational games on different subjects. So when they design a game, they also play test it at the schools that they are teaching, because many of our students, both in master and PhD, they are teachers themselves. So they get to play test the games that they design in their classes. What they experience and observe is really interesting, because when there are they testing a game with the students, for instance, like third grade students who are like 9 years old, on a, for instance, like a math game, the students, they help each other. They try to, because they want to win and they want to have the fun in the game, they communicate and they collaborate. Also, they have a shared problem solving with each other. For instance, if one player is struggling, one of the most valuable things, in my opinion, in educational games, that we mostly see is on analog or board games or card games, because the students are present at the same place. For instance, they are sitting around a table and they're playing a game, so they get to communicate with each other. This is something I don't want to say that you can have that on digital games, but it's much harder to have this sort of collaboration and communication and shared problem solving when you are having a or designing or playtesting an online game or video game. So these are the five main reasons that why we call the games as a powerful learning intervention. So by the way, if you have any questions, you could also write them in the chat box, and I would be more than happy to answer your questions as well. So you might think as educators in the mathematics field that what kind of games work best for mathematics. So it's hard to actually address a specific type of games. For instance, I cannot tell you that, okay, card games are really good for mathematics learning, or like board games are the best for mathematics learning. You should find a game with a set of mechanics that support mathematics teaching and learning. So I have two examples here. One of them is Math Ludo, the game that we actually have designed with my colleague Said Ali Hosseini, who will be later on explaining the game and will be talking about his journey as a game designer and how he developed the game. Also, last week we presented this game as well at the European Conference on Game-Based Learning, and we received amazing feedbacks because the game specifically helps first graders to learn the fundamental features of math. But I'm not going to talk about it because Said Ali will dive deep into that game more than me. So, but another example would be the game called Fraction Domino, which you will see the picture in the presentation as well. It's just like a domino that I think most of us have played, but instead on different side, it has a fraction that you need to connect to the next domino piece that you have. It's a really, really simple game, but helps the student to get more familiar with the concept of fraction, and helps them to learn the fractions faster as one of the fundamentals learning in mathematics, especially at elementary levels. And analog games, as I said, like board games and card games, they are really good for classroom and group work because they are easy to make, they are cheap, and it's easy to run the game for like 6 students, 7 students. You could have like three pieces of three copy of a game and share it with the whole class, and they are able to experience what's in the game all together. But this is something that the video games lack because they could be more expensive. They need some sort of uh, technical support for some teachers to have the game implemented and tested with the students. We also have many digital games that could be helpful for learning and teaching math. And one of them is Dragon Box that I'm also going to show you a video about that. Let me stop sharing this one. Yes. Okay, this is a video about the game called Dragon Box. It's about learning algebra for students even like from the age of 5 and 6.
Congratulations! You have just started to learn algebra. But learning happens in secret in Dragonbox. Did you notice it? In Dragonbox algebra, the first thing you learn is to isolate the box. This actually means isolating x, which happens to be your goal when you solve a real equation. In the few levels after, you learn that you can add day and night versions of the card together, which creates a green vortex that you can make disappear. What you're learning here is that the sum of two opposites equals 0, and that removing 0 from a sum doesn't change its result. Then you find out that the board has two sides, and you get the power to add cards to the board, but there's a catch. You must always add the same card on both sides. There, what you actually learn is to balance an equation, and this is still only the beginning. Progressively, the cute symbols turn into mathematical terms as kids learn to find the quickest and most efficient strategies to solve equations. Over the next chapters, kids solve equations by manipulating multiplications and divisions in Dragonbox Algebra 5+, and even fractions, parentheses, factoring, and more in the 12+ edition. By the end of the game, kids are solving equations that can stump quite a few adults. So if you want to make algebra something fun and easy for your kids, get Dragonbox Algebra.
Okay, so the Dragon Box has some amazing features that helps the students learn even complex mathematics problem solving. And the Dragon Box is a product from a Norwegian startup, and they even won several game design award, like a serious game design award, and many others. What makes these games exceptional is that they are designed to be individualized, and they have this adaptive learning process. By that I mean it's depending on how the player is performing, the game adjusts itself to the learning phase of the student, which is really important. For instance, I might not be as good at in math as good as many of you people in the conference. So for me, the learning journey would be different. The learning experience would be different with these games. And for someone who is really good at math, the learning experience would be totally different than mine because they perform differently. That's what makes digital games like Dragon Box exceptional because the gameplay adapts to the player experience and how they are performing in the game. But how can we develop our own games as teachers and educators and students who are studying mathematics education? how could we develop our own games? This is a question every semester I ask the students, and they also ask us, and whether there would be a day if we would be able to design a game. The answer is yes, you will be able to design a game, but you should look out for some specific things in a game. The very first and, in my opinion, the most important thing if you want to design a game for your classroom or for educational purposes, you need to play lots of games, like as many games as you can. Yesterday we had a class with our master students, and what we were telling them was that playing games in this class is mandatory. You have to play games. There wouldn't be a session that you come to the class and you're not allowed to tell us, okay, I didn't have time to play a game this week. So yeah, it's really important to play different games because as an educator, it doesn't matter you're a math teacher or a science teacher, the more you play games, the more you understand the concept of players' experience and the learning values within games. So the first suggestion would be that if you ever want to design a game, you need to play lots of games yourselves, but not just for entertainment, to evaluate and analyze the game as someone who uh, is willing to add educational values to the games. So also there is like a website for board games. I'm not sure if you are familiar with that. It's called boardgamegeek.com. It's a really valuable source to explore different board games. It's just for board. It's like Wikipedia for board games, but it has any games that you could imagine, and has like guides to help you find a game that you are looking for. For instance, the games are categorized based on the theme, based on their purpose, and based on the game mechanics that they offer. So apart from playing lots of games, I really and highly recommend exploring this website as well, because there are thousands of board games that you definitely cannot play all of them. But at this website, you could watch the videos, read about the gameplay and the rules of the game and how players commented on the game. So it would be a valuable source to look into whenever you want to either find a good game for your class or even want to get inspired to design your own game. So, okay, here I would also like to ask another question and would be more than happy to have your answer on that as well. What do you think is the difference between fun and engaging? For instance, I would say, oh, this game is so fun. And I said for another game, oh, this game is so engaging. What do you think is the difference between fun and engaging? I would be more than happy to have your thoughts on that provided in the meeting chat. Anybody? I am waiting for your response. What do you think would be the difference between fun and engaging? You could write it in the chat box.
May I answer, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. For me, fun refers to amusement and enjoyment, often a playful distraction, while engaging means to capture attention and interest, drawing someone into a process with a goal or purpose. That's it.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your answer. Yeah, you are somewhat right on this. So let's see what are the differences. So before getting to the fact what is the difference between fun and engaging, another important factor, if you want to design a game, or if you want to be someone who can differentiate between a good game or a bad game for a classroom, you need to be able to evaluate the games. And how that works. So when evaluating the games, pay attention to the factors that make them engaging rather than fun. So avoid asking what makes the game fun, instead ask what makes it engaging. Because people often treat the words fun and entertainment as synonyms. However, educational games are usually not designed to entertain people, even though they may be entertaining in some ways, they may be fun, but they are not designed to be just entertaining and fun. Still, a game must be engaging. Players should become involving in the activity, investing their energy, thoughts, and focus. If the game deals with a serious topic such as like safety, rule following, or risk taking, players may be deeply engaged and learning effectively, but not necessarily having fun in the usual sense of the word. So that's why we always try to differentiate between fun and engaging. There's no problem if the game is both engaging and fun, and actually that's really good if you are designing an educational game that is fun and also really engaging and serious and involve the players into learning and doing the stuff. And if you have both, you would have a very successful educational game. Because most of the times we get to a point that we are designing the game, and that's really, from my experience, really happens with our students who have this class of game design. They get so stuck to designing a good educational game that the games that what they are designing is not a game anymore. It's completely become like a learning package. It doesn't have any value of like engagement and focus and all those stuff. So remember, always pay attention to the factor that an educational game needs to be engaging. I would like to also address a list that Dr. Kevin Werbach, professor at the University of Pennsylvania, had. He had a course on Coursera website on gamification, and in that course he lists several qualities that make a game fun. For instance, they might include winning, achieving goals, collaborating, exploring, collecting, and many other aspects. And this list is really helpful because it goes beyond the simple word fun to get people thinking about what makes something fun. I have a sample of this table. It's like a big table. I have just only one part of that table. But if you search his name, you could find the full version of the table. So this table helps you as a game designer to see better and somehow analyze when you are experiencing a game what is fun and what is engaging. For instance, we have like game activities people find fun, like grapple with challenges, triumph over a challenge after working at it, achieve something like a win, a stage, a trophy, or a new level, figure out solutions to problems, create strategies that lead to a win or resolution of a challenge. These are all game activities people find fun, but as game designers and as at least people who want to use games in their teaching experience, you should go beyond that level. You need to know what makes them engaging as well. So, like mental satisfaction of overcoming adversity or some difficulty. This is what makes a player engaged in a game experience, or sensation of mastery and accomplishment. This is also something really important. At first, it could be considered as like a fun aspect, but the feeling that you are mastering something or you are accomplishing something, that's the engagement value of that experience, whether it's a teaching or learning engagement, or for instance like a workshop, or whether it's a educational game. So it's really important that have a sensation of mastery and accomplishment, because that's something make the players continue the game and be engaged in the game. Another feature that makes the games engaging is the mental stimulation, using their brain and the way to find a solution. So whenever you are challenged, and that happens in solving math problem as well, and for instance, this might be true for many of you who said at the beginning of the session that you enjoy learning math and it's fun for you. I really like that someone also used the word fun, because it will be translated to that you are using your brain in solving or finding a solution, and you are translating that to being fun, which is a good thing actually. But the reason behind that, again, focusing on this, we need to analyze deeper than what ordinary people find fun in games. Since we are working with innovative technologies and we are going to be teachers, we need to analyze deeper in that. So yeah, the mental stimulation and the feeling that you are using your brain to find a solution to a problem, this is something that makes an experience engaging. For instance, when you were a kid, you were solving math problems, and you really liked the whole process of struggling and like using your brain and finding a solution. And to you as a child, it would translate it to, okay, this is fun. I really solving math problems are fun, but the reality is that solving math problems are not fun by themselves. Believe me, if you tell a student that solving math problem is fun, they might look at you and say, "Oh, it is not fun." But what is fun is the activity and the challenge you bring to your brain, because you are trying to find a solution and you are engaging yourself in it. So the mental stimulation is another factor for making an engaging experience in educational games. Another reason would be compatibility with many people's natural tendency to be goal-oriented, meaning that you might ask a student, why do you like playing games? They might reply that because I win, I get promoted, I get to a new level, I will have like this trophy or that badge. These are all get translated to be this natural human tendency to be goal-oriented. There's a goal in it. For instance, the player who is playing a game says, okay, I'm like at level 10, but I want to be at level 20, because he might saw like a leaderboard that someone is at level 20 and they are performing better than the students. So they have this goal of hitting that level or getting that trophy or getting that badge. This also a very important factor when you want to make a game engaging. Again, a child or someone who is not a professional in the field of like education or game designing could say, okay, I like the games, or I like this activity because I win, or because I like get promoted. But the reason behind that, again, we want to be like professionals who analyze it. It translates into the natural tendency to be goal oriented, and this is really important, to have a goal in the game that helps the student or the player to engage deeply and more within the learning experience. So, but how can we use these like engagement factors for a learning game? There are some examples. For instance, one of them could be thoughtful incorporation of goals, challenges, and adversity can be linked to a real world job situation. For instance, goals are everywhere in the work world. Sales goal, productivity goal, safety goal, retention goal. These are all goals. And challenges abound in the workplace as well, like time, money, and resource management, economic challenges, adverse event challenges, and many, many more. And there could also be like the problem solving and strategizing in higher order skills that many knowledge workers and companies need more of. So we are actually in this table somehow processing and analyzing a single comment, like, okay, this game is fun. Then we translate it to what it means. Like it could be like a sensation of mastery, it could be natural tendency to be goal oriented. But these are cues for us to come up with ideas that could be used for a learning game or for an educational game, like the problem solving and strategizing. It could be a game that's useful for encouraging this type of thinking if it's required for that job or for that lesson plan that we have, or the challenges that we have in a workplace or in a class or within a subject, for instance, like the challenges that the students might have derived from just like a single fun feature that someone could address that. And as I said, we also need to go beyond fun. And what we mean by that is that playing a game for enjoyment is different from playing a game to evaluate its design quality and effectiveness. While playing a game, pay attention to the following question. There is a list of questions that we are going to check one by one with each other. This list really helps you as people who are going to be in the field of education, whether you want to design a game or whether you want to use the already published game in your education field. So as I said, we should act differently, like from an ordinary player, because they will just enjoying the game, but we need to evaluate the design quality and how the game is effective. Okay, the game is fun, but is it also effective in a way that should be? In order to understand that, there's like a list of questions. The first question is that, what is the goal of the game? Is it clear? Is it engaging for you? And why or why not? And I really recommend that to have this list of questions while you are playing the game. Ask these questions from yourself when you are playing a game with your family, with your friends, or you are considering using a game in your curriculum or classroom. When you are experiencing the games, ask these questions. So the second question is that, what is the core dynamic of the game? Is it like a single dynamic or a combination of two or more? And for those of you that don't know what are dynamics, dynamics are players' experience in a game. For instance, I think you might have heard of Monopoly or have played it. For instance, in that game, there would be the dynamics in that game would be different from another game, and also the dynamics usually brought in the game by the players. For instance, one of the most famous dynamics in games is cheating, because it is something that player add to the game, not usually within the game. You cannot find a game that says in the manual of the game by that, okay, you can cheat with this situation. This is something the players bring to the table. For instance, if me and Hapinza and Tedali play a game, we bring our own game dynamic to that table. But it would be like another group of students, they have their own dynamics. In order to understand it better, consider it as a player experience. What you experience, the style of your playing, whether you are someone who take risks or whether you rather to be more cautious while playing. These are all dynamics because they are being brought to the game by the players. Another question is that, are the rules of the game clear, and how do players learn the game? Games rules are really important while you are trying to understand the game, and they are far more important when you are talking about educational games, because they are like the teaching and learning material like what we have in our textbooks. So they need to be clear. And as game designers, we need to understand that and evaluate whether a game rule is clear enough or not. And secondly, how the players learn the game. Do they like read every single sentence and line from the game manual, or no, they've just experienced the game and throughout the game they learn how the game works. Another question would be, what mechanics makes the game more engaging? Which one would you change? If you did, what would happen? So we have these two core concepts, the dynamic and the mechanics. We talked about the dynamic, and by the way, please feel free to ask any question about game mechanics and game mechanics after this presentation. I will be more than happy to answer them. So game and mechanics are something, they are like the structure of the games. Game mechanics might be translated or used in the rules of the game or in the process of the gameplay. For instance, one of the most famous game mechanics is dice rolling. So you roll a dice to see what happens in your move. This is like a very famous game mechanic. Another game mechanic would be card drafting in card games, when you give each player a different set of cards. So we need to analyze that to see if this specific mechanic is good for the game and make it more engaging or not. And always try changing one mechanic and replay the game to see how it affects the experience. For instance, if you have designed a game or you are manipulating an already published game, if you want to change a mechanic, change one mechanic and see how it happens and how the game changes, then you could do another change in another mechanic. Don't change all the mechanics at once, because then you wouldn't be understand of the effect of the mechanics that you have changed. So the best way is to change one mechanic at a time. Another question is that, does the aesthetic of a game attract you, and what kind of emotional response does it evoke? The game aesthetic is a really important feature in attracting players and students to play that game or to have that experience or want that experience. So this is something you need to also pay attention to, because a game could be very fun, but wouldn't be like as beautiful as it should be to attract the player or student. Especially when we are talking about educational games, a game should be inviting, the essence of being also aesthetic, so that the students would be interested in the game before even know anything about the game. Another question would be that, is the game balanced, and does it account for different players' skill levels and how? By balance, we mean that when different players are in a game and they have different capabilities, is their capabilities and like, for instance, like powers, are they balanced? For instance, maybe I am choosing one character in the game and that character is far more powerful than another character. So this is also really important when we are designing educational game, because if the game is not balanced, the students would lose interest so fast in the game, because they see it as a not fair game, and they are not interested to play the game anymore. Another question is that, is the game appropriate for its target audience? The target audience is really, really important when we are doing and designing educational games. For instance, you are designing a game for mathematics. You think you are designing for like fourth graders, but when the students are playing the game, it's way too hard for them. And so it might be a good game, but not for that targeted audience. On the other hand, it might also be way too easy for those fourth grade students, that they might not be interested, they might not find it challenging enough for them, and they won't engage in that game. So as I said, a game should also be appropriate for its target group. And we also have experienced this in our classes when our students are designing a game. They are designing, for instance, like for the sixth graders, but the game is harder than that. So it might be a good game, but not appropriate for that target audience. Another question is that, is there a story connected to this game, and how does it enhance the gameplay experience? And how have the designers developed the story throughout the game? If they haven't, why not? Would adding a story contribute to or detract from the game? So many of the games have a story, but most of these stories are not really connected in a good way to the game. It's like you have like a short story in the game manual and then throw it away, and you don't see that story within the gameplay. And it's like you are not using a really important feature, because the story would help the students get engaged or help the players get engaged in the learning game that they are experiencing. But there are also some games that doesn't have like any a story, like abstract games, like for instance, like chess. Chess doesn't have any story, but it's a very engaging game to play. So a story is not a mandatory part of a game. Not every game should have story, but if they have, we should see if the story is connected to the game in a good way and it helps the gameplay, and you could see the story keyboards in the gameplay as well. But it's not a mandatory thing. It's not. We cannot say that, okay, this game doesn't have any story, so it's not a good game. It doesn't work like that. So the next question would be, what is the balance between strategy and chance? How does the element of luck affect your feeling about the game? Some games are really and heavily depend on the chance or luck, like rolling dice, but some others are depend on the strategy and depend on the critical thinking and planning of students. Which again, this doesn't mean that a game that is rely on luck is a bad game, and a game that is relying on strategy is a good game. We just need to see the balance between those features. Is it when you play the game and you experience the element of luck, does it makes you feel good, or you see, okay, this is something like too much, or it doesn't have to be here, and stuff like that. The next question would be that, is the game collaborative, competitive, or a combination of both? Does this increase or decrease your motivation to play? So games have a different approach. We have a collaborative approach, which players should work together to win a game, which means that they are all against the game. It's like that they win all together, or they lose all together. This is something also really important. Again, it doesn't mean that collaborative games are better than competitive games. It's all based on the game design. You could find a competitive game that is performing very much better than a collaborative game. So these are some of the questions that we recommend you ask yourself and ask the game when you are experiencing a new game, whether you are designing a new game. It helps you understand, is that game valuable enough in a sense of being an educational material, being like a good learning game. There's also, I think you might have heard of the Bloom's taxonomy. It is also another feature that could be helpful when you are finding a learning objective for your educational game. So again, the Bloom's taxonomy has 6 levels, but I just put like the first 4 levels to see how it could be translated to games. For instance, like at the first cognitive skill level of the Bloom's taxonomy, we have knowledge, which means that know and remember facts or ideas. So sample verbs for learning objectives at this level would be to be able to list, identify, recognize, name, match, select, proceed, and stuff like that. And games that could have these targets and objectives would be like quiz style, arcade style, matching games, or game shows style. These are the games that are good for the first level of Bloom's taxonomy. For instance, for the let's have the example for the level 3, which is application, and which means that use facts or idea to solve problems or respond to situations. This means the sample verbs for learning objectives at this level would be to be able to use, demonstrate, choose, solve, organize, develop, build, and make use of something. And the game types to consider for this level would be the scenario-based games, the matching games, or even role-playing games, or decision games, and also simulation games. These game types really connect with the level 3, which is about application and being able to solve a problem or demonstrate something or organize something. And so if we want to have like a very compressed step-by-step guide when you want to design a game, and by the way, what we do, we have this experience of game designing that we do both in our game lab at Allameh Tabataba'i University, which we have just established this summer, and the mass ludo game that in a bit Said Ali will be talking about is actually one of the products of that class and that game lab that we have. And it's like we use a whole semester to teach the students, our master and PhD students, to be able to design a good educational games. But because we have a short time here, I'm just doing like a very preview part of that. Maybe one day we could do a real in-person, like a week-long workshop at Sriwijaya University, which would be a fun experience as well. But the step-by-step guide that we have here is that at first you need to define the learning goals. Like, what do you want the students to learn? The students need to understand fractions, for instance, as a part-whole relationship. This would be an example of a learning goal. Then you need to select the core mechanics. Is it like a matching strategy, movement, or a role play for that game that you are designing? Then it's design meaningful play, connect actions to mathematical thinking. As we said, the stories could be a good interventions here. They could be a good tool to help you attach different actions to the mathematical thinking. So you could use that. And the fourth phase is prototype quickly. Use cards, dice, or paper first. Doesn't mean like a picture that we have here. It doesn't mean to be like graphically very beautiful or have like very like high-end design, because you're just doing a prototype and you want to play test it. And also the student really doesn't mind if you're not doing a good design by terms of like aesthetic at first. And the fifth step is to play test and iterate, which means that observe how students think and feel. Because when you are designing a game, this is another point that we have experienced. You think the game is perfect. You think the game works really well because you have designed it. You know lots of things about the game that a player or a student who hasn't experienced that game before might not notice. So when you observe how students think and feel about the game, this is the most important part, because you know, okay, this part of the game works well, but some other features that I thought would be great, they are not doing really well, because when the players and the students are experiencing the game, they don't get connected to that part. So playtesting is really, really an important and fundamental part of game design. You need to playtest. We always say this to our students, that whenever you design a game, at least playtest it for like 4 weeks or so with like as many students as you could find, because every students have different background, they have different thoughts, they helps you to find the bad parts of your game, and also if something really works well in your game, they would understand that and give you the feedback. Okay, this part is really interesting for me. This is really engaging for me as a player or as a student. And the final step is to reflect and align with curriculum outcomes, because at the end of the day, we are designing a game based on a curriculum, maybe for our classroom or for teaching or learning purposes. So we need to reflect to see if it aligns with the curriculum outcome that we are hoping for. And thank you so much. That's all for today. And again, thank you so much for having me at this session. It's always a pleasure to exchange experiences, and hopefully one day maybe we could do lots of collaboration. Maybe we could come to your university, you could come to our university to see and experience how our game lab is working, or how the students project going on, or maybe we could do like workshops at Sriwijaya University all together. Thank you so much.
All right.
And if
Thank
you
you
have any
very
questions,
much.
yeah, I would be happy to answer that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Shirkarami, for that insightful presentation on innovating mathematics education through game-based learning. Your expertise has provided us with a comprehensive perspective. Now, we will proceed to our question and answer sessions. We invite all participants, both those joining us on site and those online, to ask your question. For our physical audience, please feel free to raise your hand so microphone can be provided. And for all our online participants, kindly use the raise hand feature or submit your question through the chat box. I will now manage the question and direct to Mr. Shirkarami. Okay.
Okay, so we have a question here in the chat box. Thank you so much for your question. They say that I'm particularly interested in understanding how we can measure the effectiveness of game-based learning in mathematics. In your view, what are the main indicators of success when implementing game-based learning in mathematics classroom? So this is a really good question, and thanks for bringing it up. How we can measure if the game is effective enough or not for a game-based learning in mathematics is that we generally believe that games are good intervention for learning any subject. It could be math or anything. But a good way to measure that, if it's like a part of your research, what a good way is to have the game played and tested with one group of students. For instance, you have like two class of fourth graders. You can play test the game with one class, but not the other. In that way, you could evaluate and see if the game is effective in that, for instance, subject of mathematics that you are doing. You could do pre-tests and post-tests to compare the results between these two groups of students to see if your game is effective enough. It depends on, for instance, if you are trying to see if a game on mathematics is working on engagement, you need to do like the pre-test process on the engagements standard test. But if you want to see if that game is helping that subject, like learning wise, again, a good and simple way is to test the game for like 6 weeks or 4 weeks in one class, but not in the other, to be able to compare the result of the two classes to see if the game is really helpful or not.
All right. To Miss Nakia Noroshada, is it clear enough? Okay, yes, thank you so much, sir. Okay. Oh, okay. Please go ahead.
Okay, Ms. Riley, thank you so much for the time. First of all, I want to introduce myself first. My name is Muhammad Ridho Rahman, and I'm from the master program, the first semester. So your insights on game-based learning are truly inspiring for me. However, my concern revolves around practical implementation, specifically in technologically constrained environment like rural schools, especially in Indonesia. Especially in Indonesians school in a village like that. And while analog games like math card games are valuable, some mathematical concepts might benefit more from dynamic digital visualization or simulations. When we want to implement technology depend game-based learning, but face several infrastructural limitation, how can we solve this problem clearly? If we can, please give any suggestion or your recommendations. So that's my question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. It's really good question. So in our country as well, many of the schools in like the remote places or in rural places, they don't have access to computers or digital games, and it actually doesn't matter. For instance, last week when we were talking about different professors from universities all around the world, everybody believed that analog games or board games and card games, they are actually better when you want to deliver a learning outcome or want to teach something. So it really doesn't have to be digital, honestly. And when you say, okay, some topics might be better to be delivered through digital games, I personally don't think that's an issue again, because everything that could be done in digital could also be done with like papers and like board games and like cards. The gameplay would be different, but we always suggest our students to at least for the first version of the game, even if they want to design a digital game, but for the first version they do an analog because it's easier, it's honestly cheaper, and you could implement it anywhere that you like. For instance, like the Mass Ludo that we are going to hear about shortly, it was also tested and implemented in like small towns or like rural areas, and it was about math, and everybody loved that. You could find a way later on how to convert them to a digital platform, but being a digital game really doesn't give that much advantage to that topic, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you so much for Mr. Ali. It's clear. That's your answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think we also have some more question in the chat. Okay. Let me see. Okay, can all mathematics concepts be taught through games, or are only certain concepts suitable for this approach? So there's no like a border or a dead end to teach different concepts and subjects. Anything could be taught through games, but you need to find the right way and the right approach to that. So we have many complex concepts that are being taught on with games. For instance, we had students that they were working on the Mendeleev table of chemistry, which could be really complex, but they did it with a board game, and it was really deliberating, and the students were honestly enjoying it. So by itself, there is no limitation that we could say, okay, these concepts in mathematics or in other subjects cannot be taught through games. You as a game designer or the game designer should find a way to deliver a session or a concept with an appropriate approach while designing a game. I think we also have another question. Okay. Does making a game have to meet certain characteristics determining the right program to be developed in the game? If I want to make a game, what application recommendations can I download on my laptop or use to develop games? Again, it depends on what you have in mind. what is the core idea of that you want to develop and work on. So there are lots of applications that you could download on your computer to design games with. One of them could be like Game Maker. It's a really simple application that could be used for designing games. And if you want to do like a very complex or heavier games, you could use Unity, but it's really more for like commercial and heavy games that have like many elements and layers to them. So I could recommend two platforms, two applications. One of them would be Game Maker, and the other one could be Unity. But whether you choose any application, it depends on your target group and what really you want to focus on. That helps you to find a better platform or application. Is there any more question? I would be more than happy to answer.
Okay, thank you once again, Mr. Shirkarami, for the comprehensive Q&A session. And thank you for all the questions, both from online and on-site. Now, in here, Sir Sayed Ali Hosseini. Good afternoon, sir. Okay. Hi, Sayed Ali Hussein. Can you hear me? Sorry, we can hear your voice.
Trial.
Okay. Sorry, mister, your voice still... Okay, we can hear.
Is my voice clear?
Okay, your voice is so clear right now.
Okay. Mr. Shirkarami, may I ask you to share your presentation file?
My presentation file?
No, about the Math Ludo.
Oh, the Word document file, you mean?
Yes, the exactly file that you had, because my PC has less power.
Oh, okay. There would be no problem. Just give me a second.
Okay. Excuse me for my delay. Hello to everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for invitation, and it's my pleasure to be in such a great event. And
Nice to meet you,
okay,
Mr. Hussein.
Okay, is it okay? The voice and the screen.
Yes. Very. Yeah.
My name is Ali Hosseini, and I wear many hats. It's mean I am a teacher and a learning disabilities specialist in my city. We live in Ghazvi, in another city of Iran, and I am a master student of educational technology. That we was in the class that Mr. Shirkarami was one of our teachers, and nowadays I interested to learning computer engineering for passion to integrating technology deeply and efficiently in the education. Um, Before I go to the math Ludo game that we design it, I want to tell about my experiences and that driven from the knowledge that we achieve in the in the classroom. I want to say my feeling about designing some games that I can design in several aspects of education. For example, reading, dyscalculia, and cognitive process of learning. Today, I want to share you a journey that led me from classroom to designing educational game. That the first step is playing and learning with children. Before we go to the presentation file, I want to say about the process that I engage in this process. Uh, First of all, you have to play with children. The direct experience of using game in lesson and creating unforgettable, powerful learning moments, and that makes you pleasure and joyful experience that children have enthusiasm about learning and don't want to stop the process. So as you want to create a game, you have to play with children. The second aspect or thing that you have to do is analyze a vast array of games. In our classroom, we have a lots of games or in YouTube or other resources such like social medias that we don't just play the games. We deconstructed and searched the gameplay, the mechanics, the dynamics, and the sources that Mr. Shirkarami mentioned as the question in the Beyond of the Fun. We analyze them and that you can achieve the metacognition of the game. You can tell what aspects is more more I don't know how to say it, demonstrated or focused on that game. So the second phases that I do was the exactly analyze the game and it starts at the class and in my master level of education. And the third one is deep dive into the official curriculum and teaching guides. As the Mr. Shirkarami said, I am a teacher too, and I read the curriculum of the mathematics and readings and that the ministry sent for teachers and the designer of the books to understand why and how we teach the lessons, the object and pedagogical foundations and the crucial methods and difference between learning and teaching the process of the mathematic concepts. By immersing myself in these three areas, I began to achieve a kind of metacognition in game design. Reviewing, categorizing might seem the genre of games in the BGG site that the Mr. Shirkarami mentioned and showed to you in their presentation was very important part of achieve a good vision of the games. So we have two aspects for designing the game. It's my opinion. Maybe you can find it in the any article or books. I think the designing a game is a meta cognitive skills of how a game would be to be a game, how to play a game, and after that, you hands on the experiences that you achieve. And after that, you have to know what the purpose of the learning of the math. For example, in the math Ludo, we have the purpose that we add two numbers that are less than 5, 0 to 5. And now I want to go to the math Ludo where the fun meets the number. We design it in our class with my teachers, Mrs. Fatima Jafar Khani and Mr. Ali Shirkarami. And please go to the next slide, Mr. Shirkarami, that we could fusion the theory of the theories and practice led me to design and register several cognitive and educational games. Before we tell about the Math Ludo, is there anyone to hear or know something about this calcula? If do you have any idea, please write it in chat. Anything you know about this calcula or think? Is it, I give you a hint, it is a kind of learning disorder. What kind of learning disorder? Please tell something. You know, we in designing educational games, we focus on fundamental aspects of learning. For example, addition or sum, subtraction, categorizing, that children could categorize the shapes, the numbers, that, for example, we in our Iran curriculum of teaching, math teaching, we have to categorize numbers as 10 plus 10 plus 10, or 5 plus 5 means 10, equals to 10. Or the others, problem solving strategies like drawing a shape of problem, pattern finding or pattern making, eliminating impossibilities, guess and check. It's the mechanic and dynamics that we have in the games that maybe children didn't aware about the learning math, but as they proceed and go ahead in the game, they could clearly better at the cognitive skills that they need in the this calcula or solving the math problems, solving the objects. Okay, go to the next slide, and I want to tell about the dyscalculia. A learning disability resulting in a difficulties learning or comprehending arithmetic, that it's make understanding numbers, numerical or other process of math so hard and suffering for children. In Iran, we have at least 6 to 9% of dyscalculia, and in the worldwide, in the articles mentioned that 3 plus 3 to 7. For example, I had a children that when tell to him to count to 10, he said 1, 2, 5, 6, 3, 8, 10, and he didn't even understand the counting, and the counting is a uh, crucial ability to adding and other process and another process of the math. So it's a big percentage of the student that we need to help them to learn the mathematics in the daily activity. And please go to next style, Mr. Shirkarami. We have about 20 to 40 million students in Iran in the all courses of the essential and teaching or studying in Iran, that about 1 million students have dyscalculia. It's a great number. We have different kind of dyscalculia. Maybe some of them don't like it and can't and disable to do some process of math, but the other types that are severe and more participant in the difficulties. So we have different types of children in the dyscalculia. Thank you. Go to next slide. Our solution for this type of problems was Math Ludo, a simple and engaging game that most of the Iran children know about this game, because Ludo is so popular in Iran, and you have to know some math rules to do this engaging game. And as you see, it's the shape of the pocket of the game. And please go to the next slide, Mr. Shrikalami. Okay. What is the Math Ludo about? Math Ludo is a dynamic and educational board game that combines the excitement to the classic Ludo, as I said, that we have two dice, 0 to 5, and we have to roll it simultaneously. And as it's clear, we have two number that we get one of them, for example, 4 plus 3. And after that, we have to add the other numbers, 4, 5, 6, 7. And as the children do this game, they can simply memorize the different type of the adding, and it's necessary for the other levels of adding. For example, you have to 12 plus 13 or 15 plus 13. We have plus 10 to 10, it's equals to 20, and 3 plus 5, it's the exact point of the Math Ludo that they learn it. And absolutely, we have 10 plus 10. We have one 10 package and another 10 package. It's two 10 package. It's equals to 20. And they can easily learn the other kind of the addition, that it's depend of the first number that they learn in the first grade. Okay, go to the next level, dear Ali. Okay, why Math Ludo? Ludo is one of the most widely played board game in the world, roots going back more than 1,500 years ago. As I mentioned, it's so popular in Iran, and probably we had it in Indonesia, and it's so simple that all of the people with different education background can do it, and its familiar platform helps students to learn the game easier and faster. There is no difficulties for them to learn it because the dyscalculia children has had a lot of disappointed activity and experiences that it's necessary for them to it's be so easy, and they can achieve so soon the goals and their I say it's better to say they prize from their parents, friends, so they can be engaging in this type of game. And it allows the game to be implemented on different levels based on student learning levels and age. We said it after that we have 3 level in the Ludo. Please go to the next level. Next slide. The game. Thank you. We have some components. We have 12 pawns for 4 players, and it depends how many players we have in the game. It's 2 to 4. We can play it in personal place like home, or something like schools, and we have 2 dice from 0 to 5, and we have some point cards and the game board that you see at the right side. Please go to the next slide, Mr. Shirkarami. Okay, the gameplay was leveled because we have different type of dyscalculia and different personal differences. So we have the first level for whom are the weak in these abilities. The level 1 is practice addition, beginner level. Each player start with 1 pawns. Players take turn without any condition and begin with the oldest person in that game, and each player roll both dice at the same time, and they have to read each dices, and they have to took one of them, for example 4 or 5, and plus 2, and they have to add 2 number after that, and when they can the addition, they can also read the number on the gameplay too. And the classic Ludo capture rules, for example, if you hand on an upon pawn, you send it back to the start. This add excitement and immediately demonstrate the consequence of calculation. And the next level, level 2 and 3. Please go to next slide, Mr. Shirkarami. All rules of the level 1 apply, the addition, and we have 2 others rules too. We have the terrific triangles that they have to do the it's better to say subtraction, and it's the other skills that train in this game. After they learn the addition clearly, they have to say how many remains after they arrive the triangles, and it's the subtraction that they practice in level 2. How many remains from the dice rolled in the past turn, and the last level, level 3, is the safe zone. It's the strategical home that when your other players are in a situation that can take your pawn, you can go to the safe zone and say how many remains, and take a card that it's your number that you can use in another turns, and after that you have to start again from 1 and roll the dice again, and another addition too. And it's focus on the first step of the curriculum of the first grade in mathematics books, and they can do it when they pass the two first level, and after that we would be so strategically, and they can use the solving problems methods and other skills that it's necessary for the children's in the other grades and other books, and even in their life. And please go to the next slide, Mr. Shirkarami. For example, I said we have problem-solving strategies like deriving shapes of the problems. They have to deriving a shape of the problems that maybe happens in the situation they don't go to the safe zone, or finding a problem, finding a pattern to flew from the bad situation. And educational benefits that we have: the strength, single digit addition and subtraction, and skills, engaging multiple senses, and deeper learning, for example, visual and auditory, and understanding difference between counting and adding, and mastering single digit addition that improve fluency in the complex addition too. And the social benefits it has to that we can feel it when the children play it and they are so happy and want to replay it again. I think it was the last slide that about our game, and it was our team, Mr. Shirkarami and Dr. Fatima Jafar Khani, and it's me, Said Ali Hosseini, that they cooperated with me, and we can play and design some games. And it was one of them that we presented in the 3rd October in Norway. Yes, and if there is any question, me and Mr. Shirkarami are here to answer.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hussein, for your presentation. Now, we start to Q&A session. So anyone? Okay, let's see in chat box. Okay, I think that's all for this session. So thank you very much for Mr. Shirkarami and Mr. Hussein for insightful presentation. And now we begin to, oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, to briefly summarize today's insightful public lecture on innovating mathematics education through game-based learning, we learn about Bloom's taxonomy, game types, of course, and then dyscalculia, and of course, Ludo, games Ludo, and I think it's really wonderful. It's very good. Well, that's all from this discussion. And next, we will proceed with the appreciation segment, which is the presentation of the certificate of appreciation and symbolic token to our esteemed speaker. We kindly invite our chief executive, Dr. Miriam Sumaika, SPD MSG, to come forward. Ke depan, Ibu. Yeah.
Thank you for your being here and listen to my presentation.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shirkarami and Mr. Hussein. We would like to thank on behalf of committee of this general lecture. Now, this is the certificate of appreciation for Mr. Shirkarami, and the second one for Mr. Hussein. Okay, Syed Ali Hussein. Thank you very much. We hope this collaboration will continue in the future. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. It was a really good experience and hope that this collaboration would continue.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Okay, thank you very Mr. Shirkarami and Mr. Hussein for your presentation and your time. And ladies and gentlemen, we have come to end a truly inspiring and insightful session. This concludes today public lecture of the Master of Education Programs, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Sriwijaya University. On behalf of the committee, we extend our deepest gratitude to our distinguished guests, our esteemed speaker, Mr. Ali Shirkarami, and our guest speaker, Mr. Syed Ali Hussein, lecturers, students, and participants for your valuable presence and contribution. I, Nazmiya Khalisa, as your Master of Ceremonies, sincerely apologize for any shortcomings and our intentional mistakes that may have occurred throughout the event. This public lecture is officially adjourned. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Shirkarami and Hussein. Please also send my warm regard to Fatima Jafarkhani. We have also met at summer course University. Please send my warm regard to her. Thank you very much for your inspiring presentation today. We can meet again in another academic activity in another time. If you don't mind, we will invite both of you.
For sure.
Yes. Maybe you can help our students to how to develop the game-based learning, especially in mathematics material. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Okay, goodbye, Mr. See you again in another event.
Goodbye. Take care, everyone. It was nice meeting you all. You have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.